Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Hello.
Barbara, did you have a question, huh?
No,
Have
I
you-
was just saying I'm here. That's all.
Waving.
Thank you.
We'll wave back. Well, good morning and welcome to the Finance Committee this morning. If we could get a roll call, please. Oh, we'll call the meeting to order. And then
I'll call it.
here.
Preston,
He's on Zoom
he is on Zoom.
and he's muted.
I was trying to unmute it. I apologize. I'm here.
Okay.
Preston,
Here.
Deborah,
Here.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Next item is item 3, approval of the minutes from July 26th,
I do.
2023.
a correction for the record. The
Okay.
minutes are actually from October 19th. When I created it in the file, I only saw the July minutes, but Melissa had done the October minutes. So
Okay,
that's what you have in front of you is
is the packet. I mean, the actual ones.
yeah, October 19th. Change that to October 19th, please, Megan.
Okay, October 19, yes. Did y'all have time to review in your packets?
I emailed them out Wednesday.
Do you want to,
Should I print you one?
can you print one? Can you just print 2?
Make it
3.
just the.
Just the-
You don't have to do the whole thing for me and open here from that previous meeting, so I. Can't really approve minutes.
Well, it's all in one packet, so I'm just gonna shoot out there and it'll be a minute because they did the other day. And you can hold them up too, while we're waiting for them to print and do it. My grandma's really please. Can you go down in minutes?
So at that meeting, we had first quarter budget adjustments. Twyla was coming on at that time, or like that was her first full quarter. We reviewed the bills on item C and approved those. Those go down, Chris, please.
That's pretty much it.
That was pretty much it, yeah. So we'll have those for you shortly. If y'all want to come back to that one, we can. We'll move on to item 4, discussion and action items. Item A is the finance department update.
So I'd like to start off with saying that our finance director did tender her recommendation. I can't go into detail any more than that at this time due to the litigation. I've been working with staff to get the budgets in. We did not get our second quarter in on time. It is submitted. I have to make some corrections. But at the same time, we're looking at hiring on a consultant for now. Mike was able to help give us some help in that area. Mr. Javier, I can't say his last name. Okay, yes, and so we're getting a contract, it's at the attorney's office now, so once that's approved, we'll send it over to him for his review. We can bring him on and he can come in and look at our books. We also have Pat Gallegos doing an internal audit on everything to see where we're at, where we've left off at, if anything looks off or not. Let's see what else. I was able to get.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Of course.
Sure. I just have, at some point, I looked over all of this. Okay, obviously, I need to look at it more, but is there someone there that my mom passed away like 2 days ago? So I've been kind of busy. Yeah, but is there somebody there in the department that I can come and talk to about it? I mean, just in general, like getting a better feeling for it.
You can come talk to me, the city manager. I am more than willing
Okay.
to sit down with.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am, and I will, I believe I've emailed you, and my cell phone number is in the signature on my email, so you're welcome to call me and. let me
Okay.
know when.
Thank you.
No problem, and I am so sorry for your loss.
Thanks. Thank you.
So do you guys have any questions at this time on the budgets, the finances, and anything like that?
You know, I'd like just to add that Javier is CPA, he does governmental audits. You know, so he'll be coming and he can do like a deep dive But part of his proposal is to also help our finance department get everything back right from what has been ignored over the past couple of months. And it also includes helping someone, when we get someone else, and helping them get things started.
Can you expand a little bit more on what's been ignored?
Yes, I can. Quarter two wasn't completed, lodger's tax was off. We have some budget adjustments that are due. They're not out of the budget, the department budget, but they're out of line items, so those have to be corrected. There's 65 accounts that I found so far that are out of balance in just the accounts. So like fire fund has their budgets, so he had to use a lot of maintenance. He's gonna have to move monies out of another line item to fix that. Airport didn't get their grants stuff in on time, so we have to do a due from the general fund to the airport to cover that right now. Otherwise, we show we're negative. But the money's coming. We were able to get in the system yesterday and upload the invoices that we need to get the reimbursements. So those are just some of the things that have not been taken care of to date. There was.
We're not over budget on anything.
No.
We're just, I mean, as far as a department or far as a fund, but line items are not adjusted properly, which if you remember, we usually do that every quarter to balance those lines.
And you mentioned Pat Gallegos is gonna be reviewing things as well.
So he's the former chief of police, but we have him on contract as an investigator. And he's done several big cases in something in this area, so he's in the system now, looking through our budget, looking through emails, he's going through everything with a fine tooth comb to see if anything was off in a negative way, but I don't have any updates on that yet.
Concerned about some kind of impropriety or?
I don't know, and it's just my protocol to do an investigation no matter what, when somebody leaves like so abruptly, just to make sure that the city's done everything, their due diligence, everything we can.
I actually recommended audit just to make sure that whoever's coming in can come into a clean slate. As if a prospective employee find out, might have been issues that we return the employee, where they can come in with a clean slate that gives us a better chance of finding a good finance director.
And the good thing about it is that she only came on in June,
July was when she
July,
first.
when she first
Yeah.
officially took over when Marilyn left. So it's not like it's, even a year,
Yeah.
it's just, a few
July
months.
now is what we're looking at.
And who was it that left?
Twyla Flynn,
Okay.
And we have to be very careful because it's still a personnel issue.
I get it. Did she leave voluntarily or? No?
she can be correct.
Steve.
Yeah, there's six, so there's one here. I'm thinking it. The other one.
That's okay. We have any other questions?
I'm on top of it, we had a little bit discrepancies in internal controls, we're fixing that now. Some department heads had a little more control than others as far as certain areas within the budget, and some didn't have any control over it, so we are working on fixing that. Does anybody have any questions in that area,
As far as the controls?
as far as controls, as far as where we're at with the budget?
And you were saying, I think a few days ago when I communicated that the auditor was just finishing, or is that finished now, or?
So he's coming back out March 5th, so he can look over we have a water grant, a federal water grant that he has to go through, and that's the last thing he does. His letter stated that he should be done by February 28th. As long as we get it done by March 31st, we won't be put on the naughty list. So we're still on track in the right area. We're late, but we're not late to where we'll be put on the naughty list.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, item B is review of the bills for November 1st through January 31st. During council meeting, I did request that we have this meeting because we hadn't done this in a while. And we need to get back on track for having the committee meeting once a month. Was it once a month? Once every
I
other?
think you guys did them quarterly.
Usually quarterly
Yeah.
unless.
Unless we had something come up that we needed.
Yeah, to do their quarterly report.
Once we get Tyler in there and if I can analyze with Dahlia's team on what needs to be adjusted. We may have to have a special finance meeting to take it to council. Because if it's if you're transferring from one fund to another, you have to have it done by resolution. And so I'll have to take that to council. And so we may have to have a special meeting. But I hadn't seen that yet, that we needed to do that, but I will get back to you guys as soon as we get to one. So Chris has our list of what has been expended between November to January 31st. So our total expenditures were $4,715,409.86. Most of that's payroll related. And these numbers are a combination of general fund payroll and general fund expenses. And each fund has their payroll added in, if you guys didn't know that. It took me a little bit to figure that out. So that's why I thought it was important to share that. Fire protection had a stretcher grant, and they had some big vehicle maintenance, and they did order some bunker gear. The street fund did Fifth Street pavement rehabilitation with micro surfacing. That was $135,334. The skate park grant came in, and the repair at the city hall back here, we had a ramp and somebody got hurt on it, so we pulled the ramp out and just put steps in. We also had tipping fees for the 3 months from in the amount of $224,181. And then the water wastewater enterprise fund had some maintenance, and in our Wilson engineering contract, which was $773,177.64. And all these are within budgeted authorities.
Any questions? We will take a minute just so they can do that.
And looking through the expenses, all different kinds of categories, list the vendor as US Bank.
So that is when we use our bank card to pay for something, like a credit card purchase.
So this is list to the expense actually went to.
And there might be another report, I haven't done reporting in a long time, there might be another report I can pull that breaks that down a little better.
And some of it may be their fees.
Yes, so there would be fees, but we just signed on a contract with them, we had to order new credit card machines, there's a lot of moving pieces at this time.
But you said, excuse me, Madam Chair, you said that that's a purchasing card.
So yeah, we have purchasing cards to US Bank.
So obviously you have receipts that match the purchases.
Yes, yeah.
And those are checked, right?
Those are checked every time they come in, and before Monica pays the bill, she'll check it against the PO that was made and make sure the amounts are the exact same. She also checks to make sure we're not being charged for taxes, because we're not supposed to pay taxes. There's good internal control over that, not to think part.
One thing I did request from Sarah for us as a finance committee and actually for council is for her to do a budget report. Is it a budget report? That has each budget, where they're at, not just like this in bills.
It's in there.
So you'll
It's
see that.
down, it's at the bottom. There's some down at the very bottom.
I think
Right.
that gives us a lens
Yeah.
on what we're actually looking
It's
at.
a snapshot of your ending balances in your funds, so it helps compare it with your expenses. You know, way far. Yeah, so you wanna get past all the expenses and then we'll.
Starts
It
70,
shows the percent left.
yes. Yeah, I was like, I couldn't see it until I saw that report, and
Page 76. Very good. Well, this one? This is your balance sheet, it's a snapshot of your ending balances, and it has a January 31st. It's all the other information I gave you is up to January 31st, so I want to spend.
And there's another one where it shows budget. And
Yeah, we'll get
it's-
to that in just a minute.
okay.
Hey, Sarah, could I ask, did we pay two different engineering firms to do studies? The Wilson and Company and Daniel Stevenson's and Associates? What did Daniel Stevenson and Associates do?
So they've been the one that we've had on contract to do our engineering studies, and we've had them on contract for quite some time. And council's direction was to bring in the Wilson and Company to go back over and make sure that we didn't miss anything, or if it correlates with what the BSNA was doing.
Okay, so the 153 was in addition to the 40, and is the 40 a recurring fee that we have to pay those guys on contract?
They only charge us by the work that they do. The 40,000 was additional work they had done, and they presented at the last council meeting, and that was part of that fund.
Oh, okay, okay.
Do we have any other questions? If not, can you please take action on item B?
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Leonard and sorry, I always do that too, because I work for County.
Gonna make you look like you.
And a second by Mr. Sills. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Item C is second quarter report update.
Okay, so if you scroll down on this, please, if you scroll down on the spreadsheet, and you'll have to rotate it because it's sideways. I had to turn it the other way. So the spreadsheet that I got, the pages, these are all the adjustments that are going to need to be made, and the one is you guys can already do that. And what those adjustments are going to be, and that's what I have found so far, and that's why I was not quite ready to bring it for your approval yet, because I'm not done diving into it. This one? Yeah, these two.
Madam Chair, we might explain for our new people on the committee that we're required to submit quarterly reports on all funds by the month following the report. So January 31st is when this quarterly report was due. And because we were late on it, we are going to get an audit finding. However, Sarah filed the report, even though we know there needs to be adjustments, that got us timestamped. And so we're not overly late.
And that was by recommendation of our.
Yes, I've been in contact with the auditor and the analyst. Analyst is Joshua Silva, and he's really good to work with. And he said, you can submit yours and date stamp it, and we could have done it this whole time. And that counts as being submitted on time, and then he sends it back and we fix it. And so that's where we're at now, is I submitted it, it's date stamped, and we're in the process of fixing the out of line budget authorities. I was able to fix the transfer in and the transfers out, they have to balance to zero. I was able to fix that, and the lodger's tax is off, and I was able to go back and fix it. And it was just a matter of report. Wasn't off, but it was just a matter of the numbers weren't reported correctly.
Can you just, what is original total versus current? What is current, is that current period? No, that's what, can you explain the columns?
Oh, of course. So original budget is what, when we created the original budget, that was the amount we gave. And most of the time it doesn't change. But if we've had to do a transfer from another fund into this fund, it will change it to the adjusted or current total budget. And that is what we're working off of, is the one in green, and that's why I highlighted it.
Okay, okay. And what's fiscal activity? Is that total or what?
Yeah.
What is,
That's
Okay.
current activity as of December 31st.
okay,
So this
What
second one,
expect?
yeah, so this one's December 31st because this is for the budget, the second quarter budget, but the rest of the information I gave you is for through January 31st to give you an idea.
okay.
Sarah, I'm looking at this and maybe I'm confused on it, but line, man, it's halfway down the first page there for overtime. current total budget is a negative, that's gotta be incorrect, doesn't it?
Yeah, so like there's overtime taken out of the city manager's budget and I don't have overtime in my budget, so I'm not sure why that's there. And that's where we're gonna have to dig in a little bit and see why we're being charged out of that account and we can get that corrected.
So these are all the budget items that need correct.
This is what I found so far. And like I said, so far it's within budget, which it's within the fund, so I don't think I'll have to do it by resolution, because I can internally do it. But I just wanted to give you guys, I want to keep you updated on what's going on. And give you an idea of what we found so far. And I did notes in there, I started to put notes on what I know I can fix right away. Like a revenue is placed into an expense, that's an easy move to put it back into the revenue account. And then the equipment grant is reimbursable, so. It might be a due from, and that means I take monies from general fund to pay it, and then when it comes back in, we give it back to the general fund, and it covers the grant.
So when you do that, do you have to actually put it back into the grant and then move it?
Yes, that way you have a trail on what you did.
You do that even on reimbursable grants?
You can if you're out of budget, you really are in the air programs. You don't have to, but I like to do it because it shows a clean paper trail.
And Russ, you understand, like our capital outlay grants, we get a grant agreement that says we're gonna get the money, but we have to expend the money and then submit a reimbursement to get them.
And you'll see it come in and out, or it could be a matter of a transfer in or a transfer out, but I like to do due funds because they're generally easier. And then you just know that you have to put it back when it comes in, the grant comes in.
Do we have any questions? Any comments?
Can I ask on the water and wastewater on that second page there, maybe, well, probably right at halfway down the list, we've got investment income of negative 35,000. So I assume that's just us earning on our investments, but then we have an unrealized gain or loss on investment. Is that $30,000? Is that a loss that we're showing there?
So it is showing a loss of 17,000, and I don't know why. I haven't been able to get into the wastewater budget yet because I was trying to fix the water side first. But I can get that answer for you. It may be a mistake that I can't answer at this time, but I definitely think.
Madam Chair, I would say that's a mistake.
Yeah.
Because that's the fund to do the wastewater treatment plant. And normally we have like at least a couple of months. Well, a couple of months of payments ahead of the payments that are due and some interest. So I'm guessing something was keyed in wrong there. There should not be a negative at all.
When you find that out, will you email the finance committee?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any others? Okay, with that, do we need, that's just an update, we don't need action on that.
Fourth quarter is the only one. Can't like else.
Okay, item 5, other business, any matter not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of the posting of the agenda. Does anybody have anything that they'd like to address or add?
Can I just ask, and I may have missed it, I had to turn y'all up halfway through the meeting. For Twyla's replacement, Sarah, have we found anybody or have we had any applicants for that position?
As of yesterday, no.
Okay,
Madam Chair,
Yes.
did you advertise that with the league also?
I sent an email to Jackie and she's not answered me yet, but I did post it on the clerk's Facebook page. We posted it online in our newspaper, they made flyers, but I'm just waiting on Jackie. Unless you know somebody else that can send it to.
Yeah, I know somebody else.
Okay. She's usually who we send stuff
I know,
to.
I know. So that, I mean, the league would be a good place to post that in case there's finance director somewhere that would like to move. So,
It seems like the city's got and has had
a lot of open positions for a long time. What do you guys think is the biggest challenge for filling those positions? Is it compensation or?
It's compensation, drug testing, especially in our safety sensitive positions, we do drug testing and that's holding us up. And
Workforce.
yeah, I mean, and the thing is, people all over the state in the same boat we are in. So it's not just a Portales thing, it's everywhere. Cause I was like, what are we doing wrong? What can we do better? It'll always be compensation, but can we do something a little different from other cities? We pay decent on our benefits, we offer good benefits. We added 2 more holidays to the calendar year last year, so I'm not sure what else we could do, but I know they call it silver tsunami and then quiet quitting, so we're facing that too, like everything else.
Have any exit interviews, people leaving to get any feedback?
Most of it's paid. Especially with fire department.
Can I
Any other
ask a quick
questions?
question? Twyla started like a year ago, right? Or 9 months ago or sometime like that? Is that
She
right?
started in July as the finance director, but she'd been with the city as payroll before that.
Right, yeah. So after she left, did anybody, at what point did you start deciding, or was it checked out? You know what I mean? When the other person left before and then Twyla came, did somebody check it out then? The books, or is this just now happening?
This is just now happening, because we had no issues with the issues before, and Marilyn was our finance director before, and we got a tentative audit, and it's with 2 findings that have already been corrected, and they're minor things, so Marilyn's always had a clean record of
Okay.
financial audit.
Okay,
So now both the payroll position and the finance director position.
Payroll's been open for a while, and then we tried to switch it to doing AP instead and letting our AP be payroll. But we didn't get any bites on that either, so we put her back as AP, and I actually promoted her to deputy finance director, because somebody has to be in charge of that department. And put payroll back in, so we can payroll back on. And we can pay Tyler to train somebody. It's like $200 to have him come in and train him for that module for payroll.
And that's the software you use.
We use Tyler software, that's our database.
And,
Is there
and
any-
so I'm assuming that y'all aren't working for free. Somebody has figured out how to process payroll.
Yes, we did. It was challenging because there were certain names still on the bank account that shouldn't have been, and there were backup names that should have been done in October when the council approved it, but we were able to get that done yesterday.
So who's doing payroll?
Monica and Antoinette are doing payroll. So Antoinette's doing it, Monica has to approve it. So part of our internal controls is to have 2 people in everything that's on this.
Is anybody entertain hiring a accounting firm or somebody not on staff to come in, at least temporarily, to?
Yeah, that's who Javier's is, that's who we're working on bringing in.
That's just for everything? or
That's
just-
an audit though, right?
No, it's not really an audit, it's for everything
Yes,
related to
finance.
this finance. But he has experience, and if he sees something, he can.
And
So
we
the-
did entertain doing a payroll company too, but the problem with that is they can only submit the payroll. They can't do like sending it to para, paying the taxes. So they would just see the people's clocking in and out, and they would make the payroll off that, but we still have to do everything else. So we'd be basically paying 2 people to do the same job.
I guess I'm
Are you
thinking
talking about more like
accounting.
payroll?
Well, yeah, just it's some capacity taking the load off the staff. Taking that position filled, like an accounting firm.
That's what Javier is. He's a CPA.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll come in and do everything that has to do with finance other than payroll. He can't do both, like, that's part of internal controls, so, yeah, he'll come in and dig into everything, and I won't have to do any more, staff won't have to do any more, he'll be the one doing it until we get somebody hired on as, finance director.
And as I mentioned earlier, part of his proposal is to help train the new person when they come in. Make sure they're comfortable before. And that's, I'm gonna say this probably out of turn. I think that's what's happened before. I'm not sure that the person that has taken over was quite comfortable. So that's something that people want to do.
Anybody else? I would just like to say thank you to everybody who has joined this committee and to also Chris for you staying on our committee. I know that it's a time constraint. I would like to ask if this is a good time for everybody to meet. Do y'all like this time? What time, which day is better? Because when we're asking for a quorum, it's easier when we all know when we're a little bit freer than, you know, just kind of willy-nilly it. So is this a good time for you guys?
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is better for
Yeah.
me.
And normally, I think we were meeting on Wednesdays. But I was out of town this week, so that was my fault. But yes.
Is it always at 7:30?
We normally, that's what we have done in the past. If you recommend something different, if that's better for you.
No,
we
I
can
think
see
that's
if
a
it
great
works.
time.
Oh, great time. Okay, good, because I like
Well,
seven.
you know, there was a point right where staff didn't want to come in at 8 o'clock, if you remember, and, well, we can't get everything together, and that's kind of why we moved it, but originally we had it early so everybody could show up.
And they get to their
And
respective
then get to
places.
their workplace. So,
Yeah, and if I had no problem getting the information out, just let me know if you want it printed or not, because we're trying to save people some of the packets, which I know it is. And so I'll always say, here's the packet, if you want it printed, just let me, and I'll have it ready before the meeting.
Do you want to put another meeting on the books?
Well, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah, because we
No, I
may,
mean, normal rotation.
normal rotation will probably do the beginning of the first month, right? Because
Yeah.
it's the ending of the quarter,
The ending of the quarter would be April 30.
April 30, so.
Well, the end of the quarter will be May, but you've got till April 30 to submit the report, so it'll be sometime before the end of April.
And we'll go back on our,
Sorry, man.
no, that's. okay.
Yeah, and what, and I figured once you get a finance director, you can set a schedule and actually follow that schedule. Add it to our internal controls, so we know you have to have all that ready to go at that time, and there's no excuse to change.
Yep. Okay, well, if we like this time, we'll keep it, and then we will, we may have that special one, of course, for the adjustments, but we'll get with everybody on that. There's only one other thing that I want to say. Oh, yes, so, and I know that I bring this up every time. We are going to have a line item, just so everybody knows, because we did say this in a council meetings, we did accept the 50% for the roads on property tax for our portion. So the next, after we get through all of this cleanup, then we will see that on the budget list. Sarah's already working on that for us. So I just wanted to throw that out there that we are still working on it and that's still top of our priorities.
Yeah, I mean, like TJ has fire fund rollover, he couldn't see, it. It's just a matter of creating the line item. so he can see
Okay.
it.
I'm just expecting to have more money than you.
No, sir.
Well,
Madam Chair, I offered to council on the 13th to sign anyone that wanted to be signed up for our phone dispatch. I also offered the public safety committee. So I wanted to offer to the finance committee if we would like to be signed up for our dispatch system. I tried to get the settings correctly. So I apologize for that. Leave it at that. So cheap.
So, yeah, it tones out every time they get toned out. It
You get a
goes
text
to your.
message.
You get a text message, or I can set it up to where you get an email. If you're interested
Can you change mine
to get.
to just phone? I don't like that,
Okay, just
phone, you just text, yeah.
Yeah, I had to do just text message.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of options in the app that may be of some interest. As far as the hydrant map and different things that you're interested, I can set up a time. I get all that set up.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
I do have y'all walk out. Changing.
Can't go turn them on. Okay, if there's nothing else, we are adjourned.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank Thank you.
Thank you.